This week, I flew from Glasgow to the island of Benbecula in the Outer Hebrides. Throughout the trip, I stayed in a glamping pod on South Uist Island, which is connected by a causeway to Benbecula to the north and to Eriskay Island to the south. The whole trip will form a series of videos, and this video will focus on South Uist and Benbecula Islands. Good morning and welcome to another video. I'm back home in Scotland this week. I've just arrived at Glasgow Airport. I'm flying to Benbecula Island, and from there you've got road bridges connecting various islands together, so I should get to see quite a few of them this week. And I'm also going to be staying in a pod, which is not normal for me, so that will be an interesting experience. It'll be something different anyway. The weather is partially cloudy at the moment. I don't know how it's going to be in the next couple of hours. This morning it was very nice with blue sky, so I don't know whether I'm going to get good views from the plane or not yet. I have another video on my channel where I filmed from these flights before, from Glasgow up to the islands. So if I get the views today, obviously I will film. If not, then maybe I'll be luckier on the way home. And if I don't get any views on the way out, I'll catch up with you again on the other side. On arrival at Benbecula Airport, I picked up a hire car and drove straight to my accommodation. So this is my home for the next few days. This is a glamping pod. It's not in a park with others, it's just on its own. So let's go and have a look inside. Well, this looks really nice. This is just what I wanted. So you've got a small kitchen there, a bathroom and a sofa. I think this turns into a sofa bed too, but it's just me here, so I only need the bed. There's a curtain here if you were sharing with somebody and you wanted some privacy. But then you've got the TV, and the kitchen has a cooker, a microwave, kettle, a fridge and a toaster. And in the bathroom, you've got a shower cubicle here. So I've got everything I need. And this is nice, I wasn't expecting that. I've got some little jams here, some bread, and there's cutlery, there's some plates and some mini cereals and tea, so that's really handy. This is something else very practical, is having a socket by the bed so I can use my phone and charge it overnight, and a little shelf where I can put some books. Good morning everybody. I'm just sat here outside my pod on South Uist Island. I've just had a nice breakfast out here. It's nice and quiet, nice fresh air. It's not cold, so it's just perfect really. So I'm just about to go out for a drive. I've not decided exactly where I'm going to go yet because I still have quite a few places on my list. I'm probably going to have a look around some places on this island on South Uist. And if I have time, I'll be driving over to one of the other islands too. So I'll catch up with you on my first stop of the day. I've just stopped here at the road bridge because the views are really stunning. There's no wind at all, and it's sunny, it's mostly blue sky. So I'll just move the camera around now so you can have a look at the view. So on these islands, they're very quiet, there aren't many tourists at all, and there are a lot of these picnic tables dotted around different places, so it's quite nice to find these little quiet spots, and especially when it's like this, when it's sunny, it feels quite warm and there isn't much wind today, there's just a little breeze. If you want to do whisky tasting on the islands, this is a good place to come. This is the Benbecula Distillery. They have 2 tastings a day in the spring and summer season, but unfortunately today it's a public holiday, so they're closed. So if you want to come here, just double check. I think you can book the tastings online anyway, but just make sure if you hear of a Sunday or a public holiday that they are actually going to be open before you come. I've just found my way across from the distillery to this ancient stone circle. This is Gramsdale stone circle. I could see it from the road, so it's not far from the road, but I just wasn't sure how to get here because you have to go over one of those cattle grids. So that was quite hard to walk over that. And then I saw one of the farmers and he said you might have to climb over the fence to get in, but actually part of the fence had collapsed, so I was able to just walk over. So if you're not very mobile, it might be quite difficult to get here, even though it's only a short distance, but I'll film it anyway at the start so you can have a look and decide for yourself. Gramsdale Stone Circle used to be about 26 metres in diameter. It used to consist of 10 smaller stones with one central larger stone, most of which have now fallen over. A rare carved picture stone was found on this site and is now at a museum in Edinburgh. This site would be good if you had a drone because some of the stones are laid flat, so you can't see the full circle shape. But if you had a drone and you could fly above it, you'd be able to see everything. Unfortunately, I haven't got any equipment like that to show you, so I'll just have to show you as it is walking around. So here you can see on the grass there's like, I don't know if it's just a trail or whether it's actually the outline of what was the circle. On this side, I can't see any stones actually. There's one, but it's flat, so it's easy to miss. And the next one I can see is up that side. I don't know whether there are any others in the middle or not. Some of these flat ones, they're buried under the grass, so they're not easy to spot really when you're just walking across the field. This is the part of the fence that I came over, and then I went out that little gate there. You're very cute. Hello. And this is the bit I struggle with, so just be careful and hold on to the fence if you're coming in this way. There isn't another gate to get through. I did look for that. I think most people probably just drive through it. I just come out the gate and in front of me is the Whisky Distillery just across the road. So if you aim for that on the map, the stone circle is just across the road from it.
This is North Uist Distillery, where you can come here for tastings. They have a lot of gin in there and also some soft drinks. I just got this one. That looks good. But although it says North Uist, it's actually on Benbecula. And across the road, when you come out of here, there's an old chapel on the other side of the road. I'm going to have a look at that now.
Nunton Chapel, also known as St Mary's Chapel, is a late medieval pre-Reformation chapel ruin situated in an old graveyard at Nunton in Benbecula. It's believed to have been part of a medieval nunnery associated with the island of Iona. It's also the oldest ecclesiastical site still in use on Benbecula today.
This site is known as Howmore on South Uist Island, and behind me you can see the remains of one of the chapels. There were several Christian chapels on this site.
Howmore Chapel's complex is a remarkable concentration of between 4 and 6 medieval chapels. These ruins include what remains of St Mary's, likely the parish church from the late 13th century, along with earlier chapels such as St Dermot's and the Clanranald Chapel. This site has hosted Christian worship continuously for around 1200 to 1400 years, marking it as an important medieval religious and learning centre and possibly affiliated with monastic traditions from Iona. Nearby, a new Protestant church was built in 1858 for South Uist's small Protestant community. Next, I went to visit Kildonan Museum. The museum is dedicated to the history and culture of South Uist. It has exhibits on archaeology, crofting, the clearances, the Clan MacDonald and the Gaelic language. There is also an on-site gift shop and cafe.
I'm now just approaching the birthplace of Flora MacDonald. This site is where her house stood when she was born here in 1722. She's seen as a heroine of these islands because she played an instrumental role in supporting Bonnie Prince Charlie while he was in exile after the Battle of Culloden. She helped him escape over to the Isle of Skye and disguised him as a servant. However, she was arrested for this and put in the Tower of London, where she was kept for just under a year. And then she was released in 1747 and eventually returned to Scotland, and now she's buried on the Isle of Skye. So there are quite a few other abandoned houses around here, around the monument that is Flora's birthplace. I don't think those houses were belong to her family, because if they did, I'm sure it would say on the information board. I think that just on these islands that you find a lot of abandoned buildings for lots of different reasons. In fact, there's another one straight in front of me now. This is the site of the Hallan Roundhouses. These are ancient houses that were built here around 2,500 years ago. And apparently the whole site was consisted of about 200 houses at one point. But what you can see today are the remains of 3 houses. The one in the middle apparently probably belonged to the wealthiest family. And apparently they found a mummy inside one of the houses. So I presume this would have been the entrance passage to the middle house. So I'm going to end this video here in South Uist. I hope you liked the video. This is my first time on this group of islands, so I'm not an expert on them, and I've had such limited time that I've had to try and pick out where I can go and film within the time I've had. But hopefully I've given you some ideas if you want to come and visit. And if you like the video, please leave me a comment or a like to support the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.